here is the patience of the holy ones, the ones keeping the commands of the God and the trust of Jesus. And I heard sound from the heavens saying, right, fortunate the ones having died in the Master from now. Yes, says the Spirit, that they will be rested from their labors, for their works follow with them. And I saw, and look, a white cloud, and sitting on the cloud, one like a son of man, having on his head a gold crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle. And another messenger came out from the temple, shouting in a great sound to the one sitting on the cloud, "Send your sickle and harvest, because the hour to harvest came, because the harvest of the earth was dried out." And the one sitting on the cloud threw his sickle on the earth, and the earth was harvested. And another messenger came out from the temple in the heaven, and he himself also had a sharp sickle. And another messenger, the one having authority on the fire, came out from the sacrifice place. And he sounded in a great sound to the one having the sharp sickle, saying, "Send your sharp sickle and gather the bunches of grapes of the vine of the earth, because the grape clusters of it ripened." And the messenger threw his sickle into the earth, and he gathered the vine of the earth, and threw them into the great winepress of the fury of the God. And from outside the city the winepress was walked, and blood went out from the winepress up to the bridles of the horses, for 1,600 stadia. And I saw another great and marvelous sign in the heaven, 7 messengers having the 7 last blows, because in them the fury of the God was completed. And I saw as a glass sea, having been mixed in fire, and the ones conquering from the wild animal, and from his image, and from the number of his name, having stood on the glass sea, having harps of the God. And they sing the song of Moses, the slave of the God, and the song of the Lamb, saying, "Great and marvelous your works, Master the God, the all-strength. Right and true your ways, the King of the nations. Who might not ever fear, Master, and give splendor to your name, because you alone are holy, because all the nations will come and will worship before you, because your righteous acts were demonstrated." And after these things I saw, and the temple of the tent of testimony in the heaven was opened, and from the temple came out the 7 messengers, the ones having the 7 blows, having put on themselves clean bright linen, and having encircled themselves around the chest with gold belts. And one from the 4 living ones gave to the 7 messengers 7 gold bowls, being full of the fury of the God, the one living into the ages of the ages. And the temple was filled of smoke from the splendor of the God and from his power. And no one was being able to go into the temple until the 7 blows of the 7 messengers might be completed. And I heard sound great from the temple, saying to the 7 messengers, "Go off and pour out the 7 bowls of the fury of the God into the earth." And the first went off and poured out his bowl into the earth, and a sore became bad and evil on the humans, the ones having the mark of the wild animal and the ones worshiping his image. And the second poured out his bowl into the sea, and it became blood as of the dead, and all soul of life in the sea died. And the third poured out his bowl into the rivers and the springs of the waters, and it became blood. And I heard the messenger of the waters saying, "Right you are, the one being and the one who was the holy, because you judge these, because they poured out the blood of holy ones and spokesmen, and you have given to them blood to drink. They are worthy." And I heard the sacrifice place saying, "Yes, Master the God, the all-strength, true and right are your judgments." And the fourth poured out his bowl on the sun, and it was given to it to burn the humans in fire, and the humans were burned in great burn. And they insulted the name of the God, the one having authority on these blows, and did not change their minds to give him splendor. And the fifth poured out his bowl on the throne of the wild animal, and his kingdom became darkened, and they were chewing their tongues from the pain, and they insulted the God of the heaven from their pains and from their sores, and did not change their minds from their works. And the sixth poured out his bowl on the great river, the Euphrates, and it dried out its waters, that might be prepared the way of the kings from east of the sun. And I saw from the mouth of the dragon, and from the mouth of the wild animal, and from the mouth of the false spokesman, 3 unclean spirits as frogs. For these are the spirits of demons doing signs, which travel out on the kings of the whole inhabited world, to bring them together to the war of the great day of the God, the all-strength. Look, I come as a thief. Fortunate the one keeping awake and keeping his clothes, that he might not walk around naked and they might see his shamelessness. And he brought them together into the place, the one being called in Hebrew Armageddon. And the seventh poured out his bowl on the air, and a great sound went out from the temple, from the throne, saying, "It has become." And there were lightnings and sounds and thunders, and shake became great, of such kind and so very great a shake there had not been since humans came to be on the earth. And the great city became into 3 parts, and the cities of the nations fell. And Babylon the Great was remembered before the God, to give to her the cup of the wine of the fury of his anger. And every island fled, and hills were not found, and hail great as a talent weight comes down from the heaven on the humans. And the humans insulted the God from the blow of the hail, because her blow is exceeding great. And one from the 7 messengers, the ones having the 7 bowls, came and he spoke with me, saying, "Come, I will show to you the judgment of the great prostitute, the one sitting on many waters, with whom the kings of the earth committed sexual immorality, and the ones residing on the earth were made drunk from the wine of her sexual immorality." And he carried me off in spirit into a desert, and I saw there a woman sitting on a scarlet wild animal, being full with names of insult, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman had thrown around herself purple and scarlet, and was made golden in gold and valuable stone and pearls, having a gold cup in her hand full of abominations and the uncleannesses of her sexual immorality. And on her forehead a name having been written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of the prostitutes and the abominations of the earth. And I saw the woman being drunk from the blood of the holy ones and from the blood of the testifiers of Jesus. And having seen her, I marveled with a great marvel.